Come on, Wayne Lowry. Is a place with a name like Sugarloaf the ideal spot for a drug drop? All this and more as we chat Bloodline, Season 2, Episode 4 on AFTERBUZZ TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
That was the best intro ever, let me tell you. Sugarloaf.
Love you, Sugarloaf. Evangelines and Sugarloaves. Hi, everyone. Welcome to yet another week of Bloodline. Tonight we are talking Season 2, Episode 4, Part 17.
All of that we are talking about.
All of it.
All of it.
If you're not already subscribing, please subscribe to us, youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Follow us everywhere. Snapchat, Twitter, Insta. We are like all over the place. There's a lot to talk about tonight. I'm your host, Alison Dean. You can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean. I am joined by two lovely ladies, Abby Vega. Where can they find you?
Hello, everyone. You can find me at _Abby Vega. Very simple.
And I'm Blake V. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
All right.
That is me.
Wait, ladies, it's like heating up for sure. It's heating up.
Yes.
It's just so good.
Like John is having issues.
But like issues that like, how is he getting so lucky at the same time? It's like absurd.
I think it's about to unravel. I mean,
I do too. Like he can't get this lucky for so long, but it's pretty crazy right now.
I could not live. I could not live every day.
I couldn't sleep. I get anxiety like thinking that like I fell asleep before brushing my teeth.
Yes.
So like the fact that
Over
he's
nothing.
living like this, it's nuts.
I love it.
Like, over nothing, I guess.
Yeah. That's what
This
I'm
would
saying.
not work for me.
Oh, no.
This
Oh,
is
no.
like...
Well, doesn't it also, I just feel like every sibling is doing stuff to like make the other one want to kill them.
To like
Yeah.
F everything up is what they're trying to do.
Right?
Yeah.
A little bit. So, top of the episode, at least for me, what I recollect as the top of the episode, or what I wrote down at least, was that John comes in, he was getting a drink of some hard liquor.
Yeah.
And
He needs it. He needs it. Yeah.
All day long.
No judgment on John and the hard liquor. He needs the hard liquor.
I'd be on hard
I'm
other
still on Danny's
things
side,
too.
so
Jesus.
I'm like, no hard liquor for you, nothing for you. You get nothing.
I like the finger wag too.
Yes, I'm like, oh. Although I think he might get an Emmy. I'm like, wow, you're doing great.
That's what he looks like he's going for.
Creepily, Nolan was sitting there and is like, see you had a rough day.
And it was Danny.
He was envisioning Danny, but it was really Nolan.
Wasn't it like, that was quite a
he's
way
in
to
his
open
head.
it.
I mean,
Well,
he's
yeah,
in his
it
head.
seems like throughout this episode that was a theme. Like John kept having Danny in his head, which is it's creepy, but brilliant because I love seeing Danny, and that's how it should be after you kill your brother. You know, you should.
Haunted.
Yes.
Haunted.
So it's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's sort of the parallel, too, with how often we saw Danny and his sister.
Yes.
So it is sort of, it's
Cyclical.
Sort of. Although it'd be interesting if we see Danny, sister, and John in a scene. I'm like,
Yeah, like a whole thing.
That's when he's lost it.
like very haunted mansion.
They all started coming.
Yes.
And Dad's
right.
coming back.
Yeah. Everyone.
Everyone.
The ghost of Rayburns past.
So Nolan and John have a little chat outside. John confronts Nolan about sharing the info that Nolan saw him in Miami. It's like he was prodding for information on some level. How much does Nolan really know? I think Nolan's being guarded. Nolan's playing everybody, I think, at this point. Right?
For sure.
It didn't seem, just from that interaction. It honestly, though, from what I saw, he could be playing everyone, but he didn't seem to really know that much. He didn't seem to be taken too off guard by John confronting him.
I think he's playing dumb with everybody.
He could be. That's what I'm saying.
That's exactly what I think.
He totally could be, but he played it off very well. Like,
nonchalant.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Kind of him asking, he played it off so cool.
Yes. Well, and clearly he's been raised by con people. Danny and
Eve. They call her Eve.
Mama.
I like Eve. That's easier.
I know.
Because that's what Sally calls her. So
Yeah.
Eve.
But, like, we were introduced to her with, like, Evangeline Rostada.
I know, it's like,
And I was like... And then when you see her, you're like, you don't look like that.
no.
Like, that's you?
So true.
I
Yeah.
want to
look
see,
that.
like, I don't know, Funky Johnson or something.
Yes.
Anyway, but whatever.
Yes.
Eve, she looks like an Eve. I can accept an Eve.
I can see Eve.
So we'll go
call
with
her
Eve. Yeah. So between Danny and Eve, that's a lot going on. And then now that Danny's gone, it's almost like Eric O'Bannon has taken him under his wing, and it's not a good wing.
Not a good
be
way to
under.
be under.
Or has Eve? I mean, is Eve like masterminding some weird stuff? Because I'm kind of skipping around here, but I know
okay. We're
I
just
was
excited.
bothered. I was bothered when she went to Sally and was like, "I've been raising him," and I'm like, "Hasn't he been a foster kid this whole time?"
That's the thing, but that's part of it. How Sally goes, there's a difference between being a mom and a good mom, and I was like, bang, Sally, like that's awesome that you said that, because it's true. It's like,
yeah, for sure.
You can't come in wanting money for someone when who knows if you're gonna spend this money on the kid or not, you know?
Yes, and I'm just dying to find out what's going on with that bank account and those deposits.
Yes.
Because that was a lot of money. I swear.
$5K a month.
5K.
5K
So,
a
like, what are you doing with 5K a month with a child under 18? Like,
And
this
the
is,
kid, and like you said, like the kid was in foster care, so it's not like she was spending all of the money on this kid.
I think she was spending none of it on the kid.
No, exactly.
I don't know. It's all very odd.
Interesting.
It's odd to me.
It is odd.
The whole thing is.
And then, okay, so Sally apparently didn't know about these deposits.
Right.
And then Eve was like, well, I've become accustomed to this now.
Right.
So you must now take over because I've become accustomed. And Sally was like, yeah, no.
I know. I was like,
And just kicked her out.
She straight up was not having it.
Straight up not having it, which is interesting on a few levels, I think, because number one, it's like, okay, this random woman is coming telling you this and you didn't know about it, so that's deceitful from your son. Then you've got this level of betrayal from your husband, I guess, not making you privy to it. You know, and then now this new grandson has come into your life, and like, who knows about him? It's like just so crazy.
I've said this before, and I will say it again. I think there's way more to come from Miss Sally.
Oh,
I do.
of course.
But she seemed, to me, it came across like, I know Eve said, and I can totally see that being a big twist in the plot line, but she seems so genuinely unaware of all of this money transfer. And I thought it was interesting the way too that Meg thought, because I could totally see Meg's part of, you know, I thought Dad was having an affair. Because
that's what we thought.
Yeah,
that's what I thought
Initially, and then we connected the dots.
Yeah, because it's like this random woman that your dad is giving money to every week. So it's or every month. It seems as though, oh, I'm just paying her off to like be quiet. So it seemed realistic to me, and she seemed truly unaware of what was happening.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Well, no, I agree. I think that Sally didn't know what was going on, but I just think in general, when she plays it off, you know, like, oh, this just isn't happening. Or like when she's like even keel about stuff, I really think there's a whole, like there's an underbelly that we've yet to experience.
Probably.
Sally's underbelly.
Right?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
That wouldn't surprise me. Like when you guys, I think it might have just been you, but like when you were saying that last week, I couldn't see it, but now I totally see that is something that these writers and creators would do.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it happens, because to me still, because there's been no indicator that that's where she's going.
Yeah.
But I would be so shocked if that's how it goes. I'm almost hoping that that's what's happening.
She's the matriarch.
And Sally's been laying low.
Exactly.
The whole time. Low and steady.
She's taking it in.
Taking it in.
Yes.
And now with Daddy Rayburn gone, she is the pinnacle of the Rayburn family. Like, something's got to give. Something's going to blow up. Has to.
We don't know if Potts is gone yet. So I think that there
Likely
could be,
not gone.
Likely not.
Probably not. Yeah.
I agree. And I think it's one of those things, again, that's going to come back around for us, because there's still some investigation and some detective play happening, and she's being fed information, and she's collecting information, and I don't know, it's all very interessante. Moving on to Kevin for a moment.
Kevin, I can't.
Kevin,
I can't.
That was the right reaction. That was good. I can't, and oh, like we could create a rap with this now. I can't, oh, and that's truly, I was like, that was causing me anxiety. I was like, bad idea.
Everything Kevin does, like sometimes too, even when he's talking to Meg and to John, he feels like a second grade child talking to them. It feels like a 40-year-old adult talking to a second grader.
Yeah.
Like, nothing processes. Like, even when she goes, you know, no, like, he made a deal. He's like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like he's
like a juvenile reaction.
Literally, that's how it is. Like, it seems like it is a child's reaction to an adult situation in anything that he does. And it bothers me.
Especially compared against John.
Yes.
Who's just like so stoic, and he's like, we've murdered people, and this is how we're gonna handle it. And Kevin's like,
Kevin is the worst person to ever be a part of anything.
Yeah.
It's awful. It makes me cringe watching him because I just know that he's going to do something stupid.
On the positive, I feel as though he might be getting some Emmy attention. I hope he does.
Kevin?
Because, he plays that role. He plays that role like...
he does.
He does. But I'm going to say it straight. I don't think that there... This is a weird thing. I just don't think that kind of attention's going to go towards him in this role. I think that Kyle Chandler is going to just over-dominate it. As much as us huge fans love Kevin, like, and you see him as this season being like so great, I just feel like it's overshadowed.
No, but I don't think they would go for the same thing. I think he would be for like best supporting actor.
Oh, definitely supporting. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah, best supporting.
Yeah,
I'm going to vote for him.
I would love it, but I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think he's nailing that.
I see it.
Nailing it.
They're all doing a great
Oh yeah, that's true. I agree. The cast is just
job.
Anyway, so Kevin lands.
Yeah.
Kevin lands in front of freaking Wayne Lowry's house to give him back whatever drugs he had left, and we're thinking, no, this cannot be a good idea.
No.
And basically throws the drugs over the fence.
But see, that's more like juvenile thinking.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
this
just
is
give
good.
it back.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Exactly.
drugs and DEA and like like you murdered your brother. Like, no, you can't.
Like, you can't just give it back and it's gonna be okay.
Here you are.
That's what I'm saying. He has a very young youth mindset.
And he throws it over the fence and goes,
Okay, we're good now.
We're good, right? Good.
I actually hated Kevin this episode.
Yeah.
Because last episode, you just know too when he just runs off, I'm gonna make it right. It's like you just know he's gonna screw it up so bad.
Seems so.
Yeah. Because that's all he's doing. It's like, I don't even know what. It's like his thoughts aren't even fully formed. He's not even he's not thinking past one step ahead.
No.
It's like he's not looking big picture. He's just like
In the moment.
Yeah.
One thing at a time.
Minute by minute.
No. And it's certainly not the right thing for Belle.
no. It's truly not. And
Or
you
his
know
life. Or his own
Yeah,
life.
I forgot about Belle, honestly, this episode. I forgot about
because he's just
He's lost
messing
it.
He's
shit
messed
up.
up.
He's lost it. And you know what? This I think is entering predictions territory, but I'm just gonna toss it on out there. I think that Kevin effing up so much might actually work in John's favor. Thank you.
That was like a tossing it in and retracting.
Yes,
Retracting it back.
Because right now everything's starting to hit the fan, you know, and John is trying real hard to hold it down on his end. So if there are any loose ends, it's very possible that in his mind, he could make the decision to now push everything onto Kevin to separate himself from the situation. I could see that happening. I could see him kind of going on a spiral of like, just he's about himself and he's about, I want to be sheriff and I want to be this and I want to be that, and in a snowball effect of trying to cover up for Danny, he will sacrifice Kevin because
dear.
Kevin's got nothing going for him.
Oh, it's true.
Yes, he has Belle and he's got the baby, but he ain't right.
No,
he's
definitely he's in a downward plummeting spiral. So of course, we're good. Leads to him being followed by one of Lowry's guys, and that leads him crashing into a stop sign / also being
car.
When that scene happened, I was like, wait, what?
I was confused too. Was a car pulling out of the driveway, or was there like a car like out in the driveway that he just like didn't see?
I think it was a 4-way cross. Like,
that's what I was thinking.
And he blew through it, and the person also was coming across because it hit him.
Yeah,
and tipped
that's
over
what
his
it looked
truck.
like. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
There, thank you. Thank you, CSI investigation, Blake.
I needed like a board.
I know.
And just
Yeah.
draw.
Like, this is what happened.
I was
And
confused.
he was driving
I'm
northbound.
glad I wasn't the only one confused at what happened at that intersection. Okay, now we know.
Once the drugs come back, Lowry goes to his boss and says he wants to finance a run for himself and that he's going to be the mastermind behind it. He's going to recoup the money for this guy and sort of win back the day. And then at the same time, because now he received the drugs from Kev, he can go to John and basically say, you have no leverage over me anymore. I know that your brother has something to do with this, so tape. You better tell me where I can drop my drugs or else.
Yeah, that interaction was pretty... I kind of liked that because Lowry was like, your family's way more interesting than I thought they were. You know, because they... From the beginning, they come across as like this perfect family, and he's like, you know, not only is your brother selling drugs, but your sister is hiding evidence, and then maybe there's more that you're not telling me. So he kind of gets the edge over John in this situation.
Indeed he does.
Yeah.
Yes. Basically he tells John that John's gonna have to, I don't know, give him info, seed him information on where he can deposit his drugs. And we think that John's gonna actually oblige.
I was so shocked. We'll talk about that, but
We thought, and yet it's sort of all nope.
Yeah.
John says
There's
Sugarloaf, clear. Sugarloaf is
Sugarloaf.
clear. I was like, no, Sugarloaf won't be clear. Well, actually, I thought it was for a second there. I thought, but then it was also they were doing that creepy stuff with like the lights and the phone. Okay, it's okay.
See, that's why I thought Sugarloaf was clear.
Yeah.
I thought Sugarloaf was
Sugarloaf
so
was
clear.
not clear. They totally the DA waiting and John sitting in his. That was weird too. Actually, before Marco left to go to wherever, and John was like, "I'm a good person, right?" And all that creepy stuff. And I thought,
Like,
That's why I
John.
That's why I thought John was doing that just to kind of clear his conscience. Like, I'm doing this messed up thing right now, but like I know I'm in a good person deep down. But turns out he was really, doing the right thing. I don't know.
Although once we kind of saw that Lowry's guys were caught and all that stuff, we're thinking, okay, now it's all going to come down on John. But then, dum Wayne Lowry murdered. Who saw that coming?
I did not.
Crazy. Like, just crazy.
The only time right when I realized Wayne Lowry is dead was when Marco called him in and goes, he's inside. I just got this vibe, his dead body's inside. But I didn't know that was going to be the extent of it. I didn't know that he was going to be, like, murdered like that.
Interesting.
He was definitely murdered.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The way they spun that around...
Retribution.
I just love it. Like, you just never know.
You never know.
You're just
'Cause
like,
that was the last thing I was expecting. Like, until they were driving out, I 100% thought that John helped Lowry get away with this run. What did you guys think? Did you guys think that he was...
Well, I mean, yeah, I do think I thought that because he was orchestrating everything so precisely and like, oh, let me get my information. Let's get Coast Guard. Let's get the Times. Let's get everything involved and
that Hank
yeah,
guy. Like he was talking to the Hank guy. You're gonna tell this to the right.
Brought him a bottle. Like, hey, buddy, let's work together on this.
Yes.
So he made it seem like he really was setting it up.
Yeah, I 100% thought that he was kind of saving himself, just kind of doing what to me at this point I expect of John, which I kind of liked because it kind of brought me back to the old John where he's good, because you get confused by him.
We want him to be good.
You get confused by him
he?
though because he does do so many bad things, but is he really good? Is he looking out for his family? So to me, I loved that he ended up, even though he still gets away with it in a sense, he was trying to do the good thing. He was ready to take the fall.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in the sense of, so Lowry now can't talk.
Nope.
Can't talk Lowry, and Lowry was literally the only person outside of this tape. We don't know where the tape is. So where is the tape? Is John going to go on a mission to find the tape? Is the tape going to be discovered by Marco? Is Marco going to hear the like? There's many things that could happen.
The anxiety's coming back,
Things
Alison.
I've already thought about the tape.
The tape is there. Oh, you've thought about the tape.
Yes.
Tell us.
That was the
Should we save that for
first-
predictions?
Yeah.
Okay, so save it. Okay, save that. All right, so we know who killed Lowry. It was, what's his name?
I don't know his name, but his daughter was the one who was
Killed.
killed.
Yes.
In the
what's his
fire,
name?
the boat
Yeah,
fire.
yes.
Is it like this is a fail for me. Because they said it once and I was like, ooh,
Yeah,
anyway.
I forget.
So the father's retribution, basically, he went in, he totally confessed it to John and Marco in the sense that he thought, I'm clearing my sins, I can own this, da-da-da, and John and Marco are like, no, no, no.
He's like, my religion tells me confessing makes it fine.
And that was actually, that was a self-fulfilling prophecy, I think, for John. Obviously saying that out loud is like, hey, John, maybe you should confess your sins.
Yeah,
Clear your soul.
for sure.
Right?
Yes.
Like he
There's a
hears
lot of
that.
that.
No, he won't. But yeah, I think hearing that for him is probably like gut wrenching.
Yeah, well, wait. And also, earlier in the episode, when he was talking to Danny at some point, didn't Danny say something like, John Rayburn's a lie? Didn't he say that?
Can I just say, are we?
Yes, you can,
As
Abby.
we're talking about the John flashbacks, his daughter and his wife at the dinner table.
Oh, that was creepy. That was creepy.
I got so confused for a second. I was like, wait, what is happening? Who are they visiting? And then I'm like, he's envisioning what his life would be. I was like,
I basically was on the ride until the camera moved back at him, and I was like,
Same.
wait a minute.
I was so convinced. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
I was to the point where I was like, wait, who is she talking about? And then I realized she said her dad. I go, my first reaction honestly was, wait, is like John not really her dad? And then I realized what they were doing. But that was my first reaction. Wait, is there a whole different storyline I'm not aware of?
Yeah. Oh, God. I mean, I was taken out of it, you know, in that, like, when I was supposed to be, I guess. But certainly as it was happening, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, what's
What?
happening?
Totally.
What? Thank you for this.
Yeah.
Like one of those
So
weird
is this
moments.
awful? We were just talking about the father, and then we don't remember his name. Anyway, he murdered Lowry. We're saying that that's like would be gut wrenching to hear whatever, and for him to say like, "Oh, confess your sins." I took that moment as like, "Whoo!"
That's how I did too, though.
John?
For John.
Yeah.
Same.
Woo.
When
He
I
did the dirty work.
Well, see, I took that. I took
Thank you, sir.
I took the moment where when I saw Lowry dead. My first instinct was, John is so lucky.
Yeah.
Because to me, I didn't think that John had anything to do with it. I know I think they might have wanted you to think that just because of his situation. But I saw him dead and I was just like, John is the luckiest human. Like, how does he keep getting away with this stuff?
That's what
I
I
don't know,
thought.
but I'm like, the tape, the tape, the tape, the
Oh,
tape,
yeah.
the tape.
We'll get...
I'm like, I don't want to be that simple. But, you know, we'll see.
Well, because it could do damage.
The tape?
Yes.
Oh, it will.
Well,
It will.
I'm curious. We don't know. We don't know everything else on
right.
the tape.
Because I think it depends on whose hands it falls into.
Sure.
Because if like Joe random so-and-so gets the tape, and if he somehow knows John Rayburn, and if he somehow is so inclined to like, I don't know, investigate or do something, it's still, John said it. It's his word against some other
So
person.
true.
So it may or may not be an issue.
Yeah.
It may or may not.
I know.
So let's sit on that.
We've got X amount of more episodes of this to uncover. Yes. Okay, so back to Eve and Sally. I just want to talk about, so she comes in. I'm very curious what they're going to do with this character, because I almost feel like she's picking up where Danny left off in some like weird, creepy, covert criminal level. But like the fact that like those people, the Tarlos that had arrived with their Louis Vuitton luggage, and she calls and she like somehow ascertains their credit card by
That was
posing.
amazing skill.
That was very, and she did it so effortlessly.
Yeah.
I mean, truly. Hi, it's the front desk at the Rayburn house, and
wrote it down on her
I
own.
know. So, like, what did you do with that credit card info? What's going on with that? First, I thought she was gonna steal their luggage,
Same. That's what I thought right away.
and I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah.
but then I was like, that'd be weird and obvious, and I don't know.
So she looked at the luggage and saw they had money,
"Right, that's what it was."
and they became the target.
So are we assuming now that she 100% was involved with the robbery?
the first one in episode 1.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking now, after I see her like conniving ways, I'm thinking that she knew Danny in advance, because her talking to Sally about, I knew he was bad, but I think he knew she was working there. She's like, I'm working here. And I think the fact that he was holding the gun up to her head, they both knew that they were never going to hurt her. Because she was right. In that flashback pharmacy scene,
She was the victim?
one. She was the one that he was holding up.
I need to rewatch that.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I've got to say, I think you mentioned this last week too.
Yeah.
And I was not 100%.
She was the one. She was the one 100% holding up to the head. And he's like, I have a hostage. And it was her.
Oh, I need to rewatch this now.
So
Yes.
he planted her there.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Or
'Cause she was in on the heist.
Or not even that they planted her there, but she was already working there.
No, I
so
think it
she helped.
planted.
That's how they met?
Yeah.
She's like, who's this Danny
No, no,
Rayburn
no.
with the
No,
gun
see,
tonight?
I was thinking
Hey.
that she was already working there. They met and they thought, oh, we have this thing that we could
They
get
orchestrated
here.
it?
They orchestrated it because she's like, you know, I'm already going to be here. You can pull me as the hostage. I can play this idea.
Abby's mind works in very marvelous ways. I have to say. I mean, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate the
Yes.
Abby Vega
Thank
mindset.
you,
My
guys.
mind would probably go more toward she was placed there so that he could stick a gun to her head and she could react like a
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the thing is remember, he specifically said he did not need ammunition in his gun. So his gun had nothing in it. So I think she knew that coming into it.
Could
I need
this
to rewatch
all
this
makes
now.
sense.
I do need to rewatch. Anyway, I think it'll be very interesting.
I think she's super shady.
oh, hell yeah.
Well, obviously we all know that, but I think there's a lot deeper.
And she's definitely back in town with John Leguizamo, right?
Yes.
They're working together.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, Nolan's in on
Nolan,
it
yeah,
too.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
doing. There's some triage criminal activity heist that's about to go
Yes.
down, and either they know that. Wouldn't it be interesting if we feel as though John is like getting away with stuff, and suddenly they take him down?
That
I don't know.
As an inside job. Yeah.
We also know this. So John went to Meg and said that he wanted his portion of Rayburn House to be put in his wife and children's name now, which is.
I think that was because of Lowry.
Yeah, that was
No,
because
it
of
was.
Lowry.
It was, but I think that now that that's done, I wonder how that will affect things.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Because now it's easy.
He doesn't
it
have
doesn't
control
affect
now.
anything. Yeah.
I don't know. So like that's weird to me. I don't know. I'm curious to see what's going to go down between he and his wife because
Right.
clearly there's tension going
And
on.
can I just... What's her name?
Diana.
No, but what's
Diane.
the actress name? Because that
Jacinda
woman...
Barrett.
That woman is
We love Jacinda.
beautiful. I look at her anytime she's on the screen. I'm like, you are gorgeous, and they never have made
She was on Real World.
You should rewatch
She was on Real World.
like
Oh, yes.
like season 1, my darling.
like 100 years ago.
I love her.
just like search her name and then Real World and you'll be like, wow.
because is she
was
not
just
beautiful?
starting out.
Is she
She was
not
gorgeous.
beautiful? That's all I think
Gorgeous.
when I see her. Plus, she's fabulous. But
She's British or Australian or British or something.
she is.
She is. And I hear it every now
I
and
know,
then.
I do too. I do too.
Like every other word.
there's it's like fighting. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's like mostly good and then it's like, whoop, it like pops in.
Because I love her.
Yeah.
I love her on this
She's good.
show. And
And
I think she's kind of catching on to some weirdness that's
Yes.
happening.
And I like her as John's wife.
oh yeah.
Like her demeanor, like just
Totally.
the way they interact is very real.
Well, they have
Yeah.
chemistry too. They
Yes,
do.
yeah.
they do.
They have chemistry.
And that's like, I've noticed that with like some shows these days, it's like, it's kind of forced. And I'm like, it's weird.
It's hard to find.
It is.
I mean, it's hard, like, to get the level of acting that you need and the type of acting, and then the people have to,
Yeah.
I'm sure casting, it's like just like one in a
Yikes.
million.
Totally.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Meg.
Yes.
I mean, I feel so bad for Meg actually, in the sense
I do
that
too.
it literally was because of Kevin that she didn't make it back to New York to
Yeah.
cover the case that she needed to be in meetings for.
It's like she's trapped by her family
Yes.
in an eternal abyss of sabotage.
Yeah. Yes.
She, at the same time though, I almost fault her because she lets it happen so easily.
Yeah.
She lets herself fall into this so quickly.
Yeah. I'm still not quite understanding why John said she needed to come back in such a hurry. Was it so that he could get her to put the paperwork right before he dealt with Lowry?
No.
It was something with,
else.
it was something with Carlos.
Oh right. Carlos, who they remember he like
Carlos Mejian.
the witness for the thing, and he lied, and
She went and talked with him, and it was like a big thing last episode. But
But
like I said, I think that that's why I can't feel as bad as I want to for her, because she lets herself so easily be brought back into it,
I mean, she was kind of in a pickle since
Yeah,
she's.
I mean, she is, but
She was in a bit of a pickle. She's very protective of Kevin. At the same time, it's weird. I think on the one hand, it's like she says she wants to be in New York, but I feel like there's a big part of her that doesn't want to be in New York.
No.
Right. Like, so it's this internal conflict. So a part of her has no desire to be at home, but then no desire to be in New York, but just says, I love New York, and you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think New York was just an escape.
Exactly.
It was not meant to be
Or
like...
was the liquor the escape?
both.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't meant to like start anew in her career. Like
yeah.
it was not that. It
Right.
was just an escape, and it's like she tried it and tried to get away from the drama and the stuff.
It's just coming at her.
The stuff just sucked her back
Exactly.
in.
I don't think it was ever like a new life for her. It was literally just to get away.
She's just in a perpetual purgatory, I think. She will never get out.
And then it makes me think of Alec. We saw Alec for a moment.
A second, yeah.
And then she
think they're gonna
left.
come back in.
And now she's here to stay. So, like, is Alec going to come back to Florida and try to woo her?
I think in Alec's mind, she's probably very unattractive to him right now because she's not in a state of power that she was before. She's sort of, you know, when he met her,
fallen.
Yeah, kind of. And I don't think that that's attractive to him.
No, and I think what you said too about her as like being in purgatory, it's like you see John and you see Kevin, and she's kind of like the middle ground. Kevin is going off the deep end.
He's in
like
hell.
he can't handle this.
John sort of is.
John's in hell. I mean, they're all in hell at this point, but John seems to be handling it the best. Kevin, you can tell he's not. And to her, she seems to be. She is like the middle ground. I feel like of how to handle this type of messed up crap that they're in.
Who enjoyed her going up to Marco and his date at that bar?
I thought that showed. I think Marco still is super in love with her.
Really? I was not getting that vibe.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I was like, I felt like Marco was like, I feel really bad for you. You look like an idiot.
Really?
You
Yeah,
need to get
I'm
out of
embarrassed for you.
Yeah.
See, I got the. I don't.
How? What made you think that?
I just got that.
How
vibe.
did this happen for you, Abby?
Well, see, for me, okay, so I just imagine, you know, the way that their relationship ended.
Yes.
Not good.
No.
And for me, there's no. In everything we've seen in Marco, yeah, he's a great guy.
Yep.
But the way he was looking at her, the way he honestly seemed to be worried for her well-being and what was happening, it's like, I'm sorry, if I'm on a date with someone who cheated on me and screwed me over that bad, like, no. He seemed to have, he was willing to honestly leave his date to take her home, I thought. He was willing to, I don't know.
Sorry. I don't want to interrupt you. So I think that it was more really to get her away. And I don't think he was trying to drive her. I think he was like, can I call a car for you?
I'm going to call an Uber
Can
for
I
you.
Uber you?
Yeah,
Because you're embarrassing me. Like, get away from this new person I'm trying to start something new with. You're not leaving on your own, so let me get you out of here.
You know, I was thinking that for a while, but there was something I'm so weird about looking in, like, when after
the
the
soul.
eyes, like the eyes, there was just something to me that seemed like he cared way deeper than what he was like putting on. Like, this girl, like, he did not once say anything to his date, touch his date to, you know, be like, you know, this is like weird that's happening. It was all his attention on Meg. That's all it was. And this girl, I don't know. I'm probably totally wrong, but that's just kind of what I read from it.
All right. Well, certainly we'll find out.
We will find out.
We will.
I will say, I never thought that they had chemistry,
Meg and
Marco. I never thought they had, like, I thought that he gave it a little more than she did.
Yeah.
Like, I can get it's the Latin spicy guy inside, you know, like
He's great.
Oh,
I like
yes.
him a lot.
I love her too. I just
Yeah, I do
never,
too, yeah.
it was weird. And this could have been a total intentional thing between her character and him, is that she always was deliberately creating this distance with him. Like, deep down, she knew that he was not the right guy for her or something. So that could have been totally an intentional play, and I wouldn't be surprised because she's a phenomenal actress. But yeah, it always felt like, no, you're not meant to be together. To me, this is not
she
right.
seems like she like has daddy issues or something.
She could.
To me, it
Like
seems
she
like
could.
it seems like with like any guy, she's gonna have that like kind of push away thing. And I think she doesn't like. She has. Think of all the guys in her life right now. Like, her brother murdered her other brother. Her other brother is a drunk druggie
Lunatic.
Her dad is messed up, and to me, I think she's just super messed up. And I feel like we don't pay as much attention to her being messed up
I think part
everyone.
of it stems from the fact that her sister, it would have been her older sister, was killed, and I think that probably Daddy Rayburn always made her feel like, oh, you're not my other daughter.
Oh, 100%.
And so it was a feeling of inferiority the entire time she was growing up. I mean, theoretically, obviously we're not saying the backstory of Meg Rayburn's life, but I think that could have been it. So it's just this inherent disgust for men, or like, I don't know, a feeling of not, maybe you need to take care of them, but you also are disgusted by them at the same time.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, but it's purgatory of
like,
life.
Yeah, I think there's definitely more of like a her versus male issue happening, like underneath all her relationships, that like you don't really think about it that much because you think of her as like this tough like lawyer, you know. But I think there's a way more to it.
I'm very curious. I want something for her. I want there to be an interesting, like, romantic.
Yeah.
If it's Alec, great. I don't know if they're removing him now. It seems like she's not going back to New York as much as she's stalking her boss.
Yeah.
But I feel like Alec has to come back because why would they introduce him in that episode?
Well, he is. I think he was buying property,
purchasing the property there.
Hotels,
yeah.
Or he's going to develop something. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Or he did.
I want her and Marco back.
Well,
I would like it a lot.
Anything is possible in the world of Bloodline.
Yeah.
Trying to think if I'm missing anything before we go into the predictions. Anything? I know you have many, Abby.
Yes.
I forget what I was even going to predict anymore. What were we talking about? Like, I completely forget.
What was it? What was it?
No, don't say that. I'm like, rewind it back.
Yeah.
Wait, can I see your notes?
Sure.
Yes. It'll spark the memory.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what do we think? Predictions? Yes. Yes?
Sure. We'll kick
do
it
it.
off while she's
No, I like
collecting
I
her
don't even
thoughts.
know.
Maybe we'll talk and then it'll remind
maybe
you.
that'll happen.
So I think that Kevin's gonna be the scapegoat.
I know, you said that. I think
Yes.
it's fascinating.
Yes.
That is fascinating.
I think it's fascinating.
I think he's gonna become the new pawn that has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And maybe no one kills him, but if someone has to go to jail or someone has to plead guilty or whatever, I think he is in a mental state where he could very easily be swayed, you know, especially if it's John saying, "Look, man, this is the way it's got to be."
I don't think he can lie, though. I think he could lie for a moment.
But I don't think it would be
Kevin?
lying. He would admit to everything. He would be the one to take all the blame. He would say, "I killed Danny.
gotcha.
I did this. I did that. I did the drugs. Blah blah blah. Whatever." And his guilt is just eating away at him. That he would just melt for the police and just say, "Oh, I did everything." And I think it would be very easy for John or someone else to manipulate him to do that on behalf of the family. You know.
Because
That's where I'm at.
can't believe I don't even know what I was going to say.
You're going to rewatch it
Because I
back?
literally cannot remember.
Yeah, and I feel like it was going to be juicy.
It was going to be
really
great.
hoping.
I know. That's why I can never.
Oh, well, one thing I was going to say, this isn't my big prediction.
Oh.
This was like, but I've been very like gung-ho about Marco being on to the siblings, and this episode he didn't seem to have any knowledge of any mishaps that John was up to.
Well, I think he was distracted a little bit by the whole Lowry situation.
Yeah.
Like, sort of, it was like there was a refocus going on where suddenly it was like, oh yeah, Lowry did it all, blah, 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 blah. And then now he's even more distracted because Lowry's been murdered and not by John.
That's true.
Like,
But
there's things that are veering him away, which is why I think it's possible he'll find the tape.
tapes. That's what it was. The tapes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I 100% like right when we said Lowry was dead, I knew that wasn't the end of it for John. I know. I think that Nolan has a tape.
Oh.
Copies.
Okay.
Oh, I 100% think that there are copies of this tape. And I think that's going to be the issue with John is he's not going to realize who are the ones who have it. And I think that we're going to realize that people have connections that you would never expect, like Lowry and Nolan. Like we all said, Nolan, he seems to be like Danny. He is Danny's son. He's up to more than what he puts on.
Yeah.
And I think he knows maybe his mom. The tapes, that's my prediction. I think the tapes are going to come back and they're going to be people that we have not thought of to have the tapes.
New people.
But I definitely thought Lowry had copies of the tape. That was never an issue in my mind.
I mean, wouldn't everybody make copies of the tape? I
definitely
mean,
something like that.
I would turn it digital.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. For 100%.
Yes.
So I think, yes, all this will be very interesting. I think it'll be very interesting to see what happens with our good friend Eve and sort of her tie-in with.
Is she really that good of a friend?
No, she's terrible.
probably a bad
terrible. Great character. Terrible.
character.
Terrible. Not good. No.
Also, I love how they made the point that she goes, I'm way younger than him. Because I forget who, I think it was me and Angela last week, were like, she seemed super young.
Yeah. She
And
did.
I like the way that they called attention to it.
I recall that, and I like took note of that,
Yeah.
thinking, like how much older, and like what, like was he already shady, and then
Yeah.
was she already shady? Did he turn her?
Guess
like,
what? Okay, so
I just like how they said it at
Yeah.
least. Like, I was way younger than him.
How old do you think she's playing on the show?
Late 20s.
No, I mean that's
Early
that's
30s.
mathematically
No,
impossible.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. How old is
She's got to be like at 35.
35.
35.
That's what
But
I'm
she
thinking.
looks pretty young.
And then
She does look very young. Yeah.
Danny, we're gonna assume was what?
40
45?
45.
45?
Yeah.
So it's not like
Okay, yeah.
Because maybe
35.
John's 50, Danny 45. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Didn't he say? Anyway,
Look at
But-
me,
but then
late
that wouldn't
20s,
make-
that wouldn't make sense.
But I feel like he would need to be older, because then that would only make him 5 years older than her.
10. So if she
10,
was
35,
She's
45.
35. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I accept it.
okay.
But yeah, she seemed pretty young. So I think I'm just glad they called attention to it, because I'm like, she seems so much younger than him.
And there's got to be a reason for why they
Yes.
said that. And I'm wondering if it's like maybe she was legit and innocent or
And
something,
influenced by him.
and he turned her for the game.
yeah.
I have a stupid question potentially. Didn't Lowry kill Rafi Quintana?
Yes.
yeah.
So the girlfriend who was Rafi Quintana's girlfriend is working for Lowry without knowing that Lowry killed Rafi Quintana.
No, I feel like she knows. I feel like she's just in it
She
for the
just
money.
accepts it because it's her. Yeah, it's her livelihood.
That's what I thought.
Okay, I was very bothered by that, by the way. Like when I was like, no.
Side
to
note.
me-
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you go.
Really quick side note: our friend Randy Gonzalez was in the episode as Manny.
Yes, he was.
He was
I know.
briefly.
It's, right when I saw him, I was like,
For a second.
Yeah.
For a second, but it was still exciting.
But
Yes,
with,
Randy G.
Randy G.
Holla!
with Rafi, I just kind of took it as she was dating him just because he was like in the same circle. I didn't take it as like this serious relationship where, oh, he dies,
Yeah.
she's upset. I took it as like, I was with her, he's dead. She's like, I
like
still
it.
have the money. That I didn't look deep. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I didn't take
even
it as a
connect
deep
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, now he's dead, Lowry. So what else?
He's dead.
Yeah.
And now
And Rafi's dead.
She's in custody. I don't even need that. She's in custody with the
other
DEA
two
and
guys.
the coppers and all that. So not looking too good for her.
Nope.
It'll be interesting to see what happens next week. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, very
Can't
much
wait.
yes.
Everyone, it's been real. I
It's
think it's
been
been real.
so real.
Thank you
So
for joining
real.
us. I've been your host, Alison Dean. You can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean.
Hello, everyone. You can find me at _Abby Vega.
And I am Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
Everyone.
I lost train of thought there
That's
a little
okay.
bit, but I'm back.
You did it.
I did it.
We will see everyone next week for episode 5, part 18 of
So we're
Bloodline.
halfway through, right?
No, I
No?
I don't think
A
so.
a little less than halfway.
Are there 12?
Almost halfway.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.